without further ado, please welcome Dave DeRoos to the podcast. What's up,
Hey.
man? Actually looking at you.
Yeah. How's it going, Jacob?
Good, man. How you been?
Pretty good. It's kind of cold here now. Now we're getting a couple inches of snow.
Yeah, we're supposed to get hit hard on Thursday, so you guys are probably getting it first.
I actually canceled all my plans last week, and they were calling it the snowpocalypse of the area. And
Last weekend?
yeah, this weekend, and we only ended up getting like 3 inches finally. So
We had like nasty rain. I actually canceled to get a gig on Saturday.
But I guess Lake Michigan, the storms are so bad, the waves just damaged houses all up and down the coast.
Crazy, man.
They said it was pretty wild. Yeah.
I mean, those lakes over there, it's practically like the ocean. It seems like it.
Close enough,
How
yeah.
the tide hits. I don't know. But, yeah, so maybe if you want, you could kind of pick up where I left off or even go further back. How did you end up playing guitar originally? I don't even know if I know this answer for as long as I've known you. I've known Dave for since I was about 14 or 15, so almost 20
You're older than that, weren't you? Oh.
No, I remember you had your car when you were 16. I was probably 15, so
I started junior year there, so yeah.
almost 35, so about 20 years.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, so when did you start?
I started guitar right at 15. It was a birthday present. Growing up, I went to private schools, and they'd always have like a chapel there, right? And when I was in elementary school, the older kids, the high school kids, they put together a band. And I just remember being like, they'd screw around and play stuff for fun before like the service started. And here they are playing like Smash Mouth and stuff like that, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Right.
So I used to play saxophone and
what?
Yeah, alto sax. Yep. And my parents traded in the sax and got me the guitar and just started playing then.
So what age were you starting the sax?
12, 13.
So you're like middle school, 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And you were doing school band stuff, like doing.
Yeah, we didn't really even have like a band thing, We would maybe did like 1 or 2 performances, but we had a music teacher who was pretty good, and he played trumpet, and we did band, and it was such a small school, everybody was in band.
So did you learn much like theory or like on the side first? Or
no theory. You just learned how to play. At that time, they didn't really, it was one teacher with like, 20 different students, anywhere from drums to trumpets to, all the instruments, and one guy trying to teach all these 6th graders how to play. It was, I think, pretty horrible, probably for him. I wouldn't want to do that, but I don't remember anything too much about it. We never put on shows or anything, or
interesting.
Played when, yeah.
It was some type of introduction, because like
and I took piano lessons for a year too. But
is that when you were real young? Like I did the same thing.
Not quite that. It was right before saxophone, but piano. Some old teacher, Mrs. Hendricks, I think her name was, and she just made me sit down with the notepad, and I'm writing all these notes down in paperwork. I don't remember. She didn't explain what it was or anything. And it was just all like hymnal music type of stuff. Just very boring. Like she didn't play like jazz or like show me, here's, a blues walk, or, she didn't play covers. She just played her hymnal music. And that's what
I did this. I did a similar thing. I think I was actually 8, but it was probably some church music, but also like Christmas music. I think it was around that time.
Okay.
And then you just do it, you do a recital, and then your mom says if you can quit or not. And I'm like, yeah, I want to quit. That's what I remember.
I still remember my piano recital piece. I don't know what the name of the song is, but I remember how to play it still.
That's pretty cool. See, that's like some muscle memory, like engraved in your memory, the first musical thing you learned type shit. I can remember something.
I remember most of it, I think. But
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, so piano, sax, briefly kind of touching on what music's all about somewhat.
Yep, and then I saw people like play the guitar and they could play covers, and I'm like, I want to learn how to play that. That's a pretty cool instrument, and who doesn't want to play the guitar?
You got one
Learn
at
music.
14 too, huh?
What?
You got one at 14 too?
15. It was like 15,
15.
almost 16.
What?
No, freshman year. Yep,
You
freshman
improved
year I
quick,
got
man.
it. What? Yeah. So I got that, and I guess never looked back. Still play. Not
Did
as
you
much
take
as I
lessons
should.
at all or self-taught?
Not really. There's another kid my freshman year of high school. I remember he got a guitar at the same time, and we were just kind of feeding off each other. He showed me how to palm mute, which is I didn't know what that was, and he showed me how to do that. Yep.
That's
I remember that.
skill. Punk rock
Yeah.
skill for sure.
So he showed me how to palm mute. A lot of it though, I learned playing at church. They got me in a praise band right away, and I could barely even play chords, and I'm in this praise band, and
It's like, hey, we need guitar players, so get up there.
That is a great place to learn how to play, though. I mean, it really is.
I guess people are not going to be as critical of you like at a bar or something.
It's easy songs, here's 8 chords on a sheet of paper, and here you go. And see what you can do. And then my old youth pastor, he played guitar, and he got me into it like a lot more because he could do so. He had one of those Ovation guitars, remember, with the little holes in them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had one of those from the 80s or something, and he actually showed me what a scale was, and my first pentatonic scale, he showed me that, and one night he just played the same G, D, E minor, C chords over and over and let me solo all night, and I picked up the hang of it, and that started the whole thing.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, one scale can do it, and then
it still does its job.
It was G major.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't know what any of it meant, but
So you were only playing for like a year and a half before you came to my high school, a regular public high school, and joined the punk scene?
Yep.
Jeez, man, you were...
And no lessons really other than, what other people could show me. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember you could like play certain covers that kind of seemed hard at the time, like maybe like Green Day, Time of Your Life or something. You could like
just those different ones, yeah.
Maybe just you could do like because we're all like because you came like after like my band had already broken up and bands had kind of gone through some different changes.
Yeah, I missed Nifty. I really missed. I heard about them, but I never got to see them.
You didn't. Okay.
No, that's what I mean. We were all in bands. There was 10 bands at one time, 3 to 4 people, 3 to 5 people a band. That's like 40, 50 people in a band. That's quite the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool thing. We were involved in something, and we were trying to. I mean, the Battletoads, you guys were kind of on the verge of doing something. But by the time you joined,
we were like in the Superman's shadow. We had some talent. I actually joined that band the night of Battle of the Bands at Aldridge Middle School, and I learned 9 songs in one day, and then put on a show with them.
I think I snuck into that night.
I remember hearing that Banana Split CD. I was not on that album.
Yeah, that's right.
But I remember hearing those songs and trying to learn how to play a couple of them, and I thought that was so cool. And
So the Supermints were basically like the best band of the high school punk scene or clique we were in. Eventually they were called Afterthought eventually, but it was literally like the older brother was in the Supermints and the younger brother was in Dave's band, the Battletoads. And they kind of like were in their shadow a lot, not just because they were brothers, but it's almost like more ironic that they were brother because you guys almost like got some opportunities through them, but they were always casting a big shadow over you.
We were almost like the opener to them, That's
an opening band, and it was a similar sound. The little brother was singing, and the older brother, it's like.
But I mean, at the time, Ben was a lot. Mark was a good songwriter. When he wrote all the Battletoads stuff, but they didn't quite have that depth that like the Supermints did.
Yeah, Mark Westling, he's our drummer for the Grit. He's been a drummer in a lot of my projects, and he was the songwriter for the Battletoads. He literally wrote all the lyrics to the songs, all the music,
Hmm.
chord progressions. Did you like add your own, um, like lead parts, or he just kind of told you what he wanted to hear?
Yeah, I mean, he had like a basis to it. Here's how the song's gonna go. Like that one where we start screaming "Take Me Back" at the beginning. He wrote that guitar riff to it. Yeah, I mean, he wrote stuff like that, and he would write the chords, and he let me kind of do whatever I wanted, I guess, but it
You
was all
like,
his creation there.
yeah, I mean that's like even the bass player and the other guitar player for the band, they had like barely played at all before the band started. Like Mark basically taught them everything.
Yep.
So you were almost just like enhancing what they already
Just
had.
I think our lead singer was the other guitar player, and
No, you had Zelmer, right? He was the other.
no, him and Tyler both play guitar.
Oh, they would switch off?
No, I thought Tyler played leads on top of stuff.
I don't remember that. Maybe he did like a show or two.
Because in the intro of that Banana Split album, like there's like a lead that they played on the top, and that's what he used to do when Adam would play the other stuff.
Oh yeah, that kind
I
of.
think that's
But
yeah.
Mark played it on the CD either way.
Yeah, yes, he did.
Well, yeah, Mark was like, man, I was always really impressed that Mark was kind of like the mastermind behind that.
I,
Like I wrote lyrics for Nifty, but me and Matt wrote the music together, and then we just added a drummer. So it was kind of more collaborative.
yeah.
Mark was literally like, play this, like bass part, drum part, guitar part. And then he like put an organ on that one part at the beginning.
Well, I mean, and Mark, his dad, he's been in a cover band his whole life. Phenomenal guitar player. So we'd go practice at his house, and he had the whole jam room in the basement with monitors. I mean, it was great. Going down there and doing that. I mean, it's a lot more than most people have.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a really cool way, like a high school experience to practice and be in a band. Yeah, because then you look at his dad, and like, yeah, maybe they're a cover band or whatever, but they're like out there doing it. They're making a little money. They're having fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, because Mark's been basically playing drums since he was like 9 and playing with his dad's cover band like practically since he was 10 or 11. I think they used to let him in the bars.
I've never even seen his dad's band play before either.
I've only seen them acoustic, and it's a duo. It's like him and the other guy who sings it. They played once at a Clinton show.
I'd always just hear him shredding it, down in the basement or something.
Yeah.
No. What?
Oh, there's too many cameras in here. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So how did the Battletoads end, man? Do you remember? What was the last?
Yeah, we
You were a junior, right?
No, senior, I think. I feel like.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to play at Battle of the Bands, and Mark did not want to do it. And
Mark made the decision.
He was like, "Nope, don't want to do it." And it was about that time he joined
the
Afterthought at that point.
He joined the Supermints, and then eventually they were called Afterthought.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, they made one album as the Supermints. I'm pretty sure Mark played on it. Where they were still playing as Supermints when he joined.
Yeah, I think OJ.
We all say they kind of went emo because it was like a more punk band, and then they were called Afterthought, and it was more emo. So.
Yeah, I think OJ was on his way out. He was getting sick of it or whatever, being the drummer. And I think Mark started practicing with him more and more, and then kind of took over the thing.
So you guys were scheduled to play, and Mark just said he didn't want to.
I don't think we were even scheduled to play. I think that was, like he's like, no, I don't want to do it. And that was, oh, okay. That was about it.
Huh. Were you bummed out, or at this point you're kind of like over it?
I was bummed out, I mean, good for him that he got into the other band, but that was about the end of it there.
So how many shows do you think you played with them?
Battletoads?
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4.
Oh,
I mean, we did the Battle of the Bands, or no, we didn't play the Big Kahuna. That's what it was.
So I think I remember this actually.
Yeah, we did do Battle of the Bands. I did 2 Battle of the Bands with them, but not the Big Kahuna, and that was the show that he just didn't want to do.
But you guys would do like the basement shows and
I missed out on a lot of that stuff.
okay, right after all that. That's right.
I missed the garage shows too, where you guys would go out to that place in Roscoe.
Wow.
Missed all that.
That's crazy. So, but
And it sucks.
pretty much your whole junior year, you were in it, or most of your junior year.
Yep, I would say junior year. Yep.
And
So
although you weren't doing many shows, you guys would just jam at his house like once a month or whatever. And
well, we came out with that one album. I mean, they
Right.
had the Banana Split, then we did that album, and we played a while for that album, and that was it.
I thought that album sounded good. I thought it was
We did try something else a little bit later, I remember, and that involved me, Joe, I think Quinn, Mark. It wasn't. Maybe it was Mark, but we wrote like one or two songs at my parents' basement, and we never had lyrics to it. Never ever did anything with it, and that was it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the official end.
Yep, and then Afterthought was done, the Kevin, Mark, and David band performed, I think, 2 parties for a while.
What?
You don't remember that?
I don't think I was at these parties. I think I was on another.
You were on another group at the time?
Probably. I was all fucked up.
Oh, God. What did we... Maybe when we did, like, I think we played in Pete's basement and at Abby's house.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think I was probably at those. For Abby's probably, because I remember it was a wild party, wasn't it? It was like...
I thought, yeah.
Like parents were there, but it was still getting wild. I was like,
I don't remember all that. I remember just getting really drunk and Katie drove me home. And, yeah. So it probably was a pretty crazy party. Yep. But we did a couple Reliant K covers, some Sublime, the Freshman, playing the punk version of that, kind of like the Mustard Plug one.
No shit, I didn't know.
We didn't write our own songs or anything. I don't think we did.
And it was Mark singing or Kevin? Or
Kevin singing and playing bass, me playing guitar, and Mark playing drums. Or no. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. And then maybe they switched.
They would switch off and drums?
I think so. But, yep. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It didn't last too long, but, yep, the Kevin, Mark, and David band. Yep.
Huh, that's funny, man. All right, cool.
Yeah. And that was my high school music career there.
Well, and, I guess that kind of was the main thing for high school. Like I was like slowly starting to do some weird stuff on the computer. I used to mess around with Fruity Loops and stuff. But
Fruity, I remember that. That was a fun program. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so it's almost hard to remember the years of what happened next, but it's kind of like I want to say from like the time we got out of high school to we were about like 21 or 22. Well, eventually we lived together from we were like 19 to 21. I was 19, 21.
I was 20 at least. 20 or 20. I think I was 21. Yeah.
You were 21, 22. I was 20, 21.
We only lived together for like, what, a year and a half, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like occasionally I was doing weird hip hop and even we had those weird experimental rock songs. They're almost like
doing the loops with the yep. You sent me those. Yeah, I'm glad you still got a copy of those.
Yeah, I would make a beat out of a drum machine and then put like a keyboard thing, and then Jay would like rip guitar on it, and that was kind of we were just messing around with stuff.
We're just having fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was kind of the only thing we were really doing. But you were playing with like Nash and Lucas the whole time then too, right? Pretty much, like kind of, because you guys had the Getting High song and.
Yeah, that didn't really start until.
Because I remember we recorded it at our apartment with you and Nash.
Did we?
Horrible version, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was around that time. I can't remember anymore. I mean, that was like 15 years ago. You
guys weren't that active. It was like maybe that was.
No, we were just screwing around.
But no, okay. So this is what I remember. I got acoustic guitar when I was 20,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually like acoustic electric, I think when I was 21 or 22. But so when I was 20 and we were living together, I think you taught me the pentatonic scale, and then just like what the 12 or 16 bar
The blues pattern, yeah.
the blues pattern, what the chords are, the pattern, how they go. And I just basically took that shit and ran with it. But it was like,
Yep.
I remember we just sitting around just jamming that a lot of times, like simple shit. Not a lot, maybe, but I started bringing my guitar to our old factory job. Dave still at that factory
I
job.
remember that. Yep.
We used to work the night shift. Dave was the supervisor. Like nobody was watching us. We were getting away.
And here's this guy sitting outside while he should be working, playing guitar.
I'm just out there like, I can't stop. I got a passion for
Oh, I remember that. You broke up with Brittany at the time.
Yep.
You bring her the guitar, and I remember coming outside and yelling at you, and you just go, "Shut up! You don't know how it feels," or something, and you just walked off, and that was okay.
That sounds about right. And then yeah, I think that was related. Yeah, with eventually, I couldn't take working at this factory job, and I was like, oh.
Nah, you hit the road. You went out
But-
and did your thing. Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of the start of it. Just like,
Yep.
because we were already like, it was so relaxed on a night shift, and I was still like, I can't do this, and I'm playing guitar.
I mean, as far as work goes, we had it pretty good there. I mean, nobody bugged us.
Yeah.
It was like 6 people. 3 of us were already friends. I mean, you can't really beat that at a workplace environment.
Yeah, it was good while it lasted, and I think that was only a couple months because our original supervisor got injured.
He got injured, and
all of a sudden
I had to
place.
go to day shift then. Yep.
Yeah.
And I went to days. Yep. I remember I was sitting at home one night, and you and Nash just showed up. Tom let you leave to go get Subway, and you just snuck over to our apartment, smoked the bowl, and were gone for like an hour and a half. And he ended up like calling me looking for you because none of you guys were answering your phone. And, I don't know where they're at. I don't know.
I think I remember that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yep, you had that recorder. I remember you having that like back in the corner of our living room.
Yeah, I had this really little corner. Yeah, I could fit a keyboard, a drum machine, and my computer.
And you and Nash wrote the Dan the Cocaine Man lyrics. That's when they all started doing like.
We were doing them,
working together, and
we were writing them like at night on the night shift because we were working together, and like I was like kind of helping him. He was pretty good at that one in particular.
Yeah.
Well, because I had the other version of it.
What was the other version?
The Dingleberry version. It was like very crappy, and it was kind of like half written by me. I think that's why I'm going to put my own version out.
I think you guys played off each other, helping each other with lyrics and.
Yeah, so we were Dave. He's in this. Well, he's kind of been in this band, Statutory Rock. It's not the best name, but it's not the worst name. Who knows? But,
yeah.
It's with his buddy Nash and Lucas, and yeah, he's known them forever. I've known them for quite a while. And so yeah, Nash and Dave used to all work on this night shift together. And this is kind of when all the songs for both, what I was doing is, in my solo thing, also Statutory Rock and the Grit, it was all just kind of like brewing.
With LOC
happening. LOC, and then my old hip hop group, the Lords of Chronic. You got it. But yeah, so it was kind of a cool time. And then like I know I was like partying like crazy on my days off.
Mm-hmm.
We used to work like 4 days a week, and then you get 3 days off, and we just like really party crazy on the days off. And then you recover when you come back on Sunday.
Yep.
Or whatever. But yeah, it was an interesting job, and it was I don't know, I almost look at it as like a motivation to start doing the music thing, and then at the same time, like I said, these songs all kind of started like clicking.
Coming out. Yep.
I think I wrote "Free as I Want to Be" at another factory job. It's like, I hate factory jobs. That's just the song just came to me. But
yeah.
All right, yeah. So okay, so yeah, where are we in this chronological music?
We're in our 20s here, early 20s.
Yeah, so then by the time I'm like, fuck this factory job, I move out.
We were gone for a while, I think. A couple years,
Dave
right?
gives up. I go back to Boyd, my hometown, like a loser, flat broke. I'm living with my parents. Dave goes and moves to Oak Creek, but the whole time I never stop writing. I'm like doing all this like weird like outlaw country. I don't even know what it is, folk stuff. My voice is horrible, but
Bunch of
somehow
12-bar blues songs.
yeah, kind of. But I was doing all that stuff like How to Last and
Oh, yeah.
Back to Life and Get Lost, and I was like kind of had this weird like MySpace following. And so I was doing all this stuff. This is like 2007, so I'm like 22. I'm playing live occasionally. We did those couple shows in Milwaukee where I would be like playing most of the show by myself. Then I'd invite you up to play lead or national little bongos. Remember like the River West Commons, that old place in River West, Milwaukee? Very shitty place, but now it's the public house.
Much the River West there. Yeah.
River West Public House. Much nicer place. They really made it a lot nicer. But yeah, and then it was by the end of 2007. Oh no, but wait, we got to backtrack because so this was when the fuck was this? Okay, this was Christmas 2005, right before 2006.
Oh, the party at your
I have this party because my family goes to Georgia for Christmas every
fun parties.
Winter for like 2 weeks. And this time I'm like, I just got this new job at the factory job we were just talking about. And I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta work. I tell my family I can't get off even though I could have. And I'm coming clean on the podcast. But yeah, so then I decided to throw this party and we decided just to have a band show. Yep. Because why not? And like at this point, I'm like playing like keyboard. I don't even think I played keyboard and sang.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we just asked Mark to play with us, even though we didn't play with him, in the Grit till years later. We just asked him to do the show because I don't know, for whatever reason.
He was around and yeah.
Lucas played bass, Mark on lead guitar, and Nash sang backup too. And this was like
me on lead guitar.
This is pre-Grit. And before, we were any type of Grit, because I think we did all covers except for maybe your original.
Yeah, and we were just screwing around. Yeah, just playing whatever we had to play. And
we did like Sublime, Alkaline Trio, Green Day.
We did a Led Zeppelin song, Tom Petty. What else did we do? Yeah, stuff like that.
And we just basically we had this fucking keg in the garage. The band played in the garage. It was fucking freezing winter in Wisconsin, December in Wisconsin. And that was kind of like that started it right before 2006. And then fast forward that's the end of 2005. Fast forward to the end of 2007. That's when we started playing at the Bop. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a funny story too, because I tried to do the same thing. My parents were leaving again for Thanksgiving, I believe, and then we tried to do the same thing, and then my dad found out, and he said that they were coming back early, so that meant we couldn't have the show or the party at my parents'.
I remember that now, yeah.
And so what do? We just went to this place called the Bop and asked old Bert. Bert is the owner, 90% the only worker. Well, it's not the Bop anymore, different ownership now. But
it's a game lounge now.
And we asked her if we could play at her place instead. We didn't even want money or anything. And she said, yeah, and I'll give you free beer, like the cheapest tap beer.
Old Milwaukee, I think.
Old Milwaukee, the cheapest tap
or Schlitz or something.
And we're like, hell yeah. And so this started us playing at the Bop. At this time, Mark wasn't the drummer. We basically had no bass. Lucas had to play drums. He wasn't the best at drums. He's a guitar player. And then I was playing rhythm guitar. Dave was playing lead guitar. Nash was trying to play all the congas, and Nash would sing too. And then we started doing this thing. We started playing at the Bop almost once a month or something, to eventually the beginning, or I think it was spring of 2008. I want to say March or April.
Okay.
And I started hanging back out with Mark, and then he joined. Lucas hopped on the bass, much better at bass than drums. Mark, much better at drums. And that's basically when we became the Grit, or Green and the Grit. Because we were calling ourselves just Jacob Green and Statutory Rock when we were doing all these bop shows without Mark, basically.
Okay.
And we would do it like, I would start the show just by myself. Then Statutory Rock would do a set. And then all four of us would get up there type of thing. We'd have people like Jess play or who the fuck else would play? I can't remember. Like Randy.
Randy would play. Yep.
Randy Bredesen.
There's somebody else I feel like that would come up there and do something occasionally. I don't know. Have to watch the videos.
You know who? Jess's friend, Chris, got the metal guy.
What'd he do?
He had like acoustic guitar, but it just Chris Schultz. Chris Schultz.
Okay.
Chris Schultz, what's up, buddy? You rock, for real. I mean, that guy was hardcore compared to us.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we were like, and this whole time we're kind of like, I felt like in the full band, I was the one only kind of doing the originals, and then we did all these covers that we both kind of knew, and then you guys would have all this stuff. Like the Statutory Rock sets were pretty much all original, except for you do like the David Allan Coe or.
We did that Wild Horses. I don't know why we did that one.
They throw in. Yeah,
whatever we could.
More about Statutory Rock. Get into that a little.
Well, I guess our Statutory Rock, that was a 3-piece acoustic band, 2 acoustics and 1 singer. And the idea or our motivation for the band was Tenacious D. It was kind of writing funny songs on acoustic guitar. We weren't quite as clever as they were or anything, but the name Statutory Rock, it was about trying to be offensive, I guess. And we had a song, Damn the Cocaine Man. That was the song that everybody loved. And it was a story of a guy that sold coke from when he woke up till when he went to bed, and eventually he got too big for his own good and got arrested. And he was never seen again. And,
they also had, funny town hall meeting.
The town hall meeting was great. That was new lyrics every time. The Ramblin' Man one, yup. Good story with the town hall meeting. We got a hold of these firecracker guns. They look like little cap guns, revolvers, and they'd shoot out like confetti or whatever. And Nash kicking his feet up, shooting off the pistols during. I mean, it was really good theatrics. And what's going on over there?
I'm just in Vermont smoking legal cannabis.
I'm smoking legal hemp over here in my state.
Well, hemp cannabis, we're all good.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So and then
we would do the David Allan Coe song. That was 3 Biggest Lies, probably one of the raunchiest songs that's ever been recorded by an artist, I'd like to think.
It's up there for sure.
It is up there.
Yeah,
nobody covers.
And then everyone loved Dan so much that when we kind of combined forces and Mark came and we called it, Green in the Grit, it was like, okay, we need as many songs as possible. So we already had probably a dozen of my originals. So we're like, what Statutory Rock songs can we incorporate into this set? And I think it was at least 3.
We did that one, Getting High. That was our intro song.
Town Hall.
Town Hall was another one.
And
I think that was
it. But it was always we pretty much always had to end it with Dan because people it was like
they were just chanting it. Yeah.
It's just a hilarious song.
Dan.
Dan the Cocaine Man. It doesn't sound like a nursery rhyme at all. No, don't even.
What?
The original. Yeah. It's a very country-like song.
It's the same tune as Do You Know the Muffin Man?
Oh, shit. Don't tell him that.
It was unintentional.
Your face will get moved.
Does that happen?
I don't know. Yeah, so then then we're like we combine forces, we're called Green in the Grit.
We're playing around Beloit a little bit more. We're starting to branch out of the bop, and
we're doing one Beloit bar pretty consistently. We're playing
The back bar.
Open jam every Thursday in the back bar in Janesville, and then eventually they start giving us real shows like almost once a month.
Yep.
We started doing house parties. We did we did the place in South Beloit, that bar Shakers.
Ramada Inn. That was a fun show.
Oh, and then the Cattails one.
The Cattails. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun there.
I used to work as a master of the custodial arts at the Ramada Inn, or a janitor if you want to be a dick about it. But it's I convinced my boss to let my band play there and to pay us, I believe it was $150. Plus,
I don't remember any money.
He gave us a room to stay in, and we had I don't know, at least a half a dozen people, or if not a dozen people, trying to stay with us after the show. And he kept the bar open till 3. He let us hang out in the
smoking there.
Yeah,
he just do whatever you want. I'm having a great time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a crazy night.
Yep.
And then realized I was quitting, but I quit right after that.
Well, then they had a DJ that played after us.
Oh, that's right.
The entire party just became a huge grind session on the dance floor, and that at that hotel too, they had a pool right in the middle with all the rooms. So we were swimming in the pool after dark, topless girls in the hot tub. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. It
was definitely a crazy night.
Yep.
And a lot of good memories. And then, it was, it's funny because a lot of times when we think of the Grit, it was mainly this main summer of 2008 or spring or summer, but it was only 3 or 4 months before I left and went to Colorado, and then Mark, our drummer, left and went to Belize. But it was I was living with Mark. Mark rented a place in Janesville, Wisconsin, and he had a garage that had a
loft almost above it.
A loft above the garage. And so I moved my futon in there. I had a little griddle. You could cook breakfast and grilled cheese on it and shit. I think I had a mini fridge. And we used to practice in my loft above this garage. I think I lived there for 2 months. And then this was 5 or 10 minutes from the back bar, which we would go to the open jam to every Thursday. So it was a really short period, but we recorded 6 or 7. Well, no, we recorded, if you include
it was an album basically, right?
Yeah, we recorded enough for a whole album during this period. And then we were what started out as playing maybe one show on the weekend. We were playing 3 shows a week for 2 months or something. It got
it picked
busy
up
enough. And then we did one time we did 2 shows in a day, and Nash couldn't make the second one because he got too fucked up. We played a house party.
Oh, we got kicked out of the house party.
No, we were playing the house party in the afternoon in Janesville.
Yeah, and
we went to the Mike's Roadhouse later because that band needed someone to fill time.
Yep. Oh, I remember that night.
They cut us off because we were kicking ass so much, and Nash is puking in the car. Meanwhile, he didn't make that set. I had to sing one of his songs, I think. But yeah, it was a really short period. But I think that's kind of where it all started, because then we would just continue to do it anytime I was back in town, because I was still living in Milwaukee, and I would come to Beloit, I don't know, once every couple months, once a month, and just do a bop show. We just do something where, and we did the Grit. Eventually I started playing with Josh Verichak. He's awesome, front man for Billy Dreamer. He's drummer and bass player for the Grit. He has been. And he started playing drums for us because I was living in Milwaukee, and so was he. We became buddies. And so then the Grit did, we did Battle of the Bands for Summerfest. We did a Linneman show once.
I missed the Battle of the Bands. That was not.
No, you did that one.
Did I do that one?
Remember it was at that place in Bayview, Club Garibaldi?
With the that chick band that won it?
Huh?
That chick band that won it?
Yeah, that horror.
They had that song about Ronald Reagan or something. Weren't they one of them was dating the judge or something like that?
No, it was because the main singer for that band was a writer for the local newspaper, and she was just super connected. And there wasn't really
Okay.
judges. It just mattered how many people showed up, because then they had everyone vote.
Participate. Yeah.
Like multiple people said they wanted to vote for us instead of them, because I think we kind of stole the show, but like, we weren't like the best, but we weren't the worst. And then then the grit, like kind of, we were doing like this thing where it was like just me, Lucas on bass, and then Josh on
You're doing the
drum.
Milwaukee shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were doing like all these like weird Milwaukee shows. We were like a trio, and then I would like switch off and play bass, and Lucas would shred guitar. And we played at like the Rave and a couple of cool places. I think we did a Battle of the Bands too as a trio, and then Lucas even played drums for Billy Dreamer.
Yep. He
I
did
think
that for a
sure
while.
too.
Yep.
But yeah, we've just kind of like kept it consistent over the years, one way or another. And like for many years, it was always like, oh, let's do another bop show. We just like, almost guarantee people are showing up.
Reliable.
And yeah, old stomping grounds. But
Well, it was neat. I mean, for a small city, Beloit, Wisconsin, we could get 30 people on average to show up at one of our events. And that was kind of the thing going on in the town at the time. You'd have 30 people show up like all the time. And
I mean, in our own right, we almost like started our own music scene, even though it was small. But then like if you look at,
there were other bands around too, and
yeah, if you look at like Earth to Clark, there's like one of the bigger Beloit bands right now. They're kind of like a hip hop reggae rock thing, but like their main singer songwriter and guitar player Adam, he was like coming and occasionally opening, or like he did an open mic there, I think, after we stopped playing there as much. And so it kind of just like kept the tradition going at the bop. And it sadly had to end. I think the bop ended in
2014 or something,
14 or 15, I can't remember. We made a little video for it. You can find it on Facebook somewhere, and we dedicated it to Bert. And it was a really cool place. It was the bop stand for Bert's other place, and Bert was just this nice old lady who owned the place, and she treated us pretty well. She didn't really always pay us much, but she gave us a lot of beer, and she dealt with our crazy friends.
She put up with our nonsense, and we could do whatever we could do whatever we wanted there. We made a music video there. We basically rented out the bar to make a music video. I mean,
yeah, we made a music video there. I think that was 2010, I want to say.
Okay.
And that was for this kind of one of our more punk songs called Pretty Baby, which that's a story in itself.
Yeah.
How about that song? Find the song Pretty Baby on YouTube now. Our buddy John Ping, or JJ, directed and filmed it.
Yep.
Yeah, I can like go. I get to a clip. See, I'll do stuff like that. It'll like cut to a clip when I say that.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, talk about that song.
Oh, Pretty Baby. Okay.
You got stolen.
That does have a story there. All right. I guess the song started out just some riff I wrote. The main riff to that song is just something I wrote on guitar one day. Thought it was pretty cool, and we never did anything with it, really.
A very punk rock sounding classic riff.
It's a great riff. Awesome riff. And so I had the riff, showed it to friends. It never became a song yet. And, since it didn't do anything, Lucas was in a band at the time called Code Adam, and they decided to use this awesome riff and to write their own song with it.
Shit. They stole it.
So they did that, and borrowing, yeah, without permission. So it's kind of like stealing. But then again, it's just a riff. It's not a song. Whatever. Right, yeah. So they did that. They had their guy write some lyrics to it. He's a whole nother story in himself, that guy, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Bomb Threat Josh, yeah. So they had that song. They did their band thing for a little bit. That was pretty cool for them. Green and the Grit time comes around. I wanted to use my riff again. So we took that song. Their version of the song was a little bit different than the one that we created. But we're trying to come up with new lyrics for it, And we couldn't do it. They just they kind of stuck with the music, and that was the song.
And then there was like a very kind of crappy version of it on this Code Adam CD that they just recorded at their house. And I think you were like kind of upset at first. You're like, "Hey man, it's my riff," but
Yeah, well, I mean,
eventually
hey, dude,
it came
check out
back
this cool
around.
thing that I wrote. Yeah.
It came back around
No, it
because
worked
then
out. It worked out.
eventually we took the song and it was like Mark who wanted to add another section to it, right? He was kind of
No, it's more like he helped. Like, well, we need something else here, and he's
yeah,
like, well, try
exactly.
this, try that. Yep.
Because it was like basically just the same pattern over and over while it goes from
Now he had a different part, but it wasn't.
wasn't as cool or
It just we kept it like more upbeat. I think it slowed down for a second, like
so I
break it down
remember
and yeah.
I remember, yeah, you guys practicing and writing that like in the loft of the old green garage, as it was literally a green garage.
The green
And
room. Yep.
yeah, they had the music for it. It was a new section for the song, and I just started like rocking out. I think I was headbanging and got into it, and I just came up with some other pretty cheesy lyrics, but they kind of match the theme that the lyrics are. So yeah, like half of the lyrics in the song, the verses, are written by this Josh guy who was in the band. So it's a strange song because it's like I've written some of the lyrics, you've written the music, and then Lucas kind of helped you write the other section of music, and then this Josh guy wrote the other part of the lyrics.
Then he had the lyrics. Yep.
It's it's just a funny thing, and yeah, again, you can find this song on YouTube. It's
I think a lot of
pretty
songs
great.
end up that way, though.
Yeah, it all depends.
You take a little bit from somebody, a little bit from somebody else, and you got a song.
For sure. But that one is like a truly almost recycled, revamped. Because then we had a crappy version that we recorded. This new version has a great. We recorded in that green garage. We had that version, and then we shot the music video. I think 2 years later, 2010, we recorded another version at Lucas's place, and you guys went to Rob's place to like master and mix for hours, and everyone's yelling and arguing.
It wasn't quite that bad. I mean, no, it wasn't like that there. No, it was Rob, older guy, older than us. He had money, I mean, we were in our 20s. He was in his 30s. He had Lucas's
brother-in-law.
Yep. So he had the computer and he knew a little bit about mixing, which we were pretty new to at the time. And,
right.
Yep. We put out. I thought we put out a pretty good version of it. Well, most of the stuff was recorded at Lucas's house and then mixed at Rob's house.
I mean, that is the final version, and that was used for the music video. So I think it's a damn good version.
No, I think it is a very good.
What we had to work with.
No, Lucas did a good job with all that. Yeah, he does a good job with that recording.
Shit. Hang on a second.
What?
All right, yeah, I got it. Never mind. Yeah, so, so what, okay, yeah, if you remember that time, I always felt like we almost, I've always been trying to, like, push original stuff, I guess because I've always just written so much original stuff, but we almost, like, had a pressure to play a certain amount of covers because most of the bars we played, the only other bands they booked would be cover bands, or predominantly.
Yep.
And so, yeah, like what did you? Because I know like you've always kind of liked to do original thing, but you knew a good amount of covers that like you three together, you, Lucas, and Mark could like play stuff pretty, note for note or just really tight together.
I think. Mark and he's been my drummer forever. You were tight on that. I mean, just the way you can, feel each other out and what you're going to do. Same kind of like with me playing guitar with you. We kind of know each other's going to do and how it's going to sound. And
that's great.
That helps out so much when you just
naturally like develop a sound, and it's just like not only are you like comfortable musically, but you like just know each other, so you're like comfortable as friends and whatnot. And no, I mean, you guys had a really tight, we had a really tight thing. I was never the best singer, but I was always just like, hey, like, let's at least try to do almost 50-50 originals. And then that's kind of what brought out adding those Statutory Rock songs, because we had to fill more time. We started playing 3-hour gigs and stuff.
So that was like 5 more songs that we could throw in.
We had to fill up more space. And sometimes we do even more covers. And, you know, it was cool. Sometimes I almost wonder, whatever little name we built up, like what people remember more. Like it might have been because of how well we did. You know, like even we did like the Rick James on Halloween. And
Oh, yeah.
people love that shit in Beloit.
They do. Well, you know,
town kind of music scene, you know. So.
We had our following of 30 people, and if it was just them at a show, we could play all originals, and they knew the lyrics of the songs that we were going to sing.
Yeah,
and they could get down with it. But when we would go out to some other places, maybe Janesville, where we're not going to get people at,
right,
you tend to do more covers. We played in Monticello, Wisconsin, which is a one-street town.
Forgot about that.
And we were sitting on our phones during a break looking up songs that we could play for the crowd because they didn't want to hear any originals. So I remember we pulled the Johnny Cash song out of our ass. We were just sitting in the back room like, what do we do? What do we do? Okay, I think this song's 3 chords. All right, let's play it.
Well, then I remember, like, when we were actually playing there was some like crazy like locals who were trying to rock. They were like, ah, they're like wearing.
No, they were having a good time.
Well, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, we were like just trying to come up with stuff on this because we had a good amount of covers, but it was probably like they didn't want to hear like some.
They didn't care about that. They just wanted, I don't blame them. Whatever, you know. But I remember that show. Then the cop. The cop that's on duty, you know, one cop on duty.
We had to walk.
The police station's across from the bar, so he just put up his lawn chair, sat outside, and watched everybody leave the bar. Luckily for us, we had a friend that lived, a mile down the road, mile and a half down the road.
Something like that.
And the whole band just walked over to her house and spent the night there.
Yeah, where do we sleep on the couch?
What was her name? Erin or?
I think that was Jamie. Yeah,
Jamie, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Marshall used to date her, and she was kind of a great fan for.
She was around for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and man, that was a crazy show. I forgot about that show. That's fun.
Yeah, that was I just remember like we were outside, like, what the hell are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, guys? You know, like they don't like this stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I had. Jade was like out back on the deck or something, and like
they had like a nice little patio area, yeah.
A dog, Jade, she's probably 3 years old at that time. Who knows?
Oh, it was her birthday a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
You still got her Facebook page on there. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, cool. It went on. Oh, it's on that one.
It's on. She still has her Facebook page. Yep.
I haven't been into that in like a decade. I can't believe that's so.
I should have wrote something, but you wouldn't have even seen it anyways.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Yeah. So that was just a wild summer. I just feel like it was almost like a really good introduction to like what you could do with a band that can play, you know, because we could do the cover thing, but we also were a real band where we're like trying to put original stuff out. So it was a good introduction because it kind of like it happened so quick.
And
Mark joins the band. Hey, let's practice. Hey, let's record. Hey, we're playing gigs.
Well, we were still working that weird schedule at the factory, so we had 3 days. You weren't, but the rest of us, we had 3 days a week to play. That was a lot of time. So
that's why it was so convenient to have those open jams on Thursdays. That was their first day off. It'd just be like, come to my house, let's practice 4, let's go to the back bar.
And if we didn't play at the back bar, Thursday was a good practice day, hangout party day.
They had free tacos.
Free tacos, yes.
Cheap beer.
Mark would almost get kicked out bringing his own beer in there, you know, you name it.
Yeah.
But, no, and then Friday and Saturday would be shows. And,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and so and that's almost like, because if you think about it, almost maybe like a year after that, we kind of there was new original grit stuff like when I started living in Milwaukee, but for the most part, a lot of it kind of comes from those 2 years, you know, because like we continued the band over the years, but essentially we haven't been together enough, you know, like as a whole. To like have a bunch of new material.
Yeah, Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then at the same time, you know, you keep recording material with me, like almost anything. Because like I would like put out a solo album and have you do some lead or something out it, or
You've done like 10, 15 songs with the since then, right?
yeah.
Maybe
Well, I guess
more.
when I started playing with River Water Tribe, that was probably the most I probably didn't play with you. But even then, we would come back and do a bop show, and it'd be like the Tribe and the Gray.
Yep.
Remember
Yep.
that? Yeah, we just like do
I
it
remember
anyways.
that.
If you guys were up for it, I just kind of like see if you wanted to do it. But then then like, you know, eventually Dave's recorded on a lot of my one-man band material, or the upcoming stuff. Well, actually, who knows? It might be out by the time this thing's out.
Yep.
Dave's playing on the latest album, Little Courage, which we had the campaign for. We recorded at Plaid Dog Studios in Boston, Massachusetts.
Mhm.
And I originally actually had another studio guitar player who recorded the single Little Courage. That's what they did for promotion for the campaign. They recorded the single first. And I thought the guy was good, but I just didn't feel like he really knew my sound as well.
Captured you. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially with kind of the material I was bringing to the table. So we did 5 songs total. So the 4 other songs, I actually flew Dave out from Milwaukee to Boston. We stayed there for like 3 days, 3-4 days.
Yep.
And we were in the studio for like 2.5 days. And yeah, I'm super pleased with how the recording came out. I think the songs sound great, and I got food poisoning last night, but that's cool.
Anytime you want to fly me out there again to record, just let me know. I'll do it.
Well, and you know, I learned a lot from that, and now I've just like updated my home studio a lot more. Now because like I recorded a lot of drum tracks in different you know, professional studios or whatever you want to call it, paying someone else to record drum tracks, and now I almost feel confident with my mic setup and everything that I can record my vocals, guitar part, you know, comfortably in my home studio, and you know, take as long as I want, do as many takes. And you as well, now that you have new equipment, I mean, essentially you still could get something probably better out of a home professional studio, but I don't know, this with mastering, and
I think that's what some of it is. I need to read up a lot more, and you know, I think enough tools here to do it. It's just okay. I hit play. Here's my recording. Here you go.
Well, it's like you can do a lot of stuff with mastering, and that's even like the Little Courage album, how it's like a 50-50 mix. I had to really go back and make sure all the volumes were the same, because you're going back and forth from a full band song that's recorded at a Boston studio.
Yeah.
One-man band songs that are recorded right here in my home studio, and just going back and forth, and I had to balance them and master them right. But overall, I'm really pleased how it came out, and that just kind of just gives me more confidence that I could do that with even full band recordings, especially now. I do have a professionally recorded drum tracks, which I could use,
which is great. Yeah.
Which would be awesome. Which I am in the process of working on a grit album. It's been in the process for like literally a decade. But
we got plenty of time.
It's kind of like doing it just to it's at this point it's literally doing the songs that are even worth recording, and that we're still, you know, even worth playing. I mean, maybe some of them are kind of like a homage to the old school, to what it was. But for the most part, a lot of them I still play solo, or we still play when we get together.
Yep.
And I think it'd just be cool to finally do that. And of course, I'm working on other new material that I'm sure I'll be asking you to play some lead on.
I'd love to do it. Yeah.